I think that just about everybody at some point can think to themselves, how am I going to fit in? And it might be because you're new to an area or new to a school, or it might be because you have different cultural differences or different ways of thinking about stuff as well. And I suppose what I wanted to have a little bit of a chat about was the fact that actually in celebrating your differences, in being proud of your differences and proud of yourself, can help you to fit in better because it can help you to connect with people. Being confident means that you have so much more headspace to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. So in other words, if you like you and you like the things that make you a little bit different as well, then all of a sudden you're not sitting there worrying and using up all of that headspace thinking, well, what are other people thinking of me? You can be putting yourself in their shoes and thinking to yourself, how might I connect with this person as well? What are the things that we have in common too? So being confident equals also being attractive. I don't mean that overconfidence, that almost bullish confidence where people are kind of put off because you're just being a little bit scary, but just being happy in your own skin. It's enormously attractive. And in fact, from a physical perspective as well, perhaps people who are less traditionally physically attractive can find themselves little magnets because of their confidence and their ability to have that headspace and to connect with other people. Be interested in other people, share bits of yourself and share bits of them proudly. I can tell you right now, when I went to live in Australia, when I was 14, it was very different. And I was teased as well for being different. But actually, by sharing little bits of myself and saying, yes, I am English and you are Australian, but in actual fact, there is some really cool stuff going on there. And what it meant is that as time went on, people were curious about my background. And because I was quite comfortable being English and coming from England, despite the fact that I've travelled extensively around the world, it meant that we could have some really interesting conversation topics. I'm not talking about arguments, but I'm saying, oh, so how was that for you? How was Christmas for you? How do you guys do things differently? In Australia, of course, it's hot weather down there at Christmas time. Pretty nippy here at Christmas. And pretty nippy in the States and a few other places I can think of too. But differences actually mean the ability to have those conversations and compare and contrast. Fitting in is also about connecting with people and finding common ground. So you can have conversation topics about differences perhaps in experiences, but you can also find common ground, maybe in the way that you think about stuff. Maybe perhaps the environment, something that's really important to you. Animals are really important to you. Studying or getting on in the world is really important to you. Sport is really important to you. Finding that common ground. So there are things that you share and things that you have in common, and also things that you can give and take about as well, because you are different. And you know what? Ultimately, everybody is different. When I start scratching away at the surface of anyone I've had as a client, everybody is a little bit different from the next person. So celebrate your differences. Think to yourself, actually, how can I be proud of the differences that I have? How can I therefore be more confident so that when I connect with people, I can think to myself, what are the things that are interesting about them that I would like to know more about? I can then share bits of me and take bits of them. And that is how you start fitting into a group. What are you bringing that's a little bit different?